And we're recording. Good morning, good afternoon. Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate in December, or maybe you don't. Either way, Happy December, because I think we can all celebrate that this year is almost over. I know I'm excited that it's almost over, but I know that I'm taking a lot of lessons from 2020. So there are definitely some things to be grateful for this year, for sure. Even if we have to dig, I'm sure you guys can find it. I'm super excited as usual. We have a rockin' out Tuesday call with a 200K leader, and I love this call. Like, it's literally my favorite Zoom to do every week because I get to interview a different 200K in the company. And I mean, I think now I've interviewed over 100 different 200Ks at this point, which is so exciting to be able to say that Lavelle has over 100 200Ks. Like, they have way more than that, but it's so exciting to be able to say that. Especially, I was with one other network marketing company before this, and I was with that company for 6.5 years, and they never even hit 100 people at the top of their comp plan. So and it was a company that was around for 20 years. So it's crazy to think Lavelle has just getting started, 8 years young, and we're pioneers. So it's so exciting to know that people can reach the top of a comp plan like this. Anybody can, if you put in the effort and the time. It's exciting. So happy Tuesday. And I am so excited today to interview Carmel Stetler. And hopefully I said your name right.
You did.
I'm pretty good at botching names. It happens most of the time. So I'm kind of proud of myself that I said it right. Yay. First of all, I don't know your story, so I'm so excited. I always get extremely excited when I get to hear from people that I don't know their story either, because it's like more of a fun call, because I don't know what you're gonna say, and that makes it more exciting. I would love to start at the beginning. What day did you come out of your mother's womb? I'm just kidding. We don't have to go that far back. But I would love to know what you were doing before network marketing, and how you found this industry. Is Lavelle like your first gig? Did you do anything before it? Did you suck at it, or were you good? And then how did you find Lavelle, and we'll kind of go from there.
All right. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for having me on. I really do enjoy sharing my story because I didn't believe that my business would go anywhere stepping into this. But let me go back to the beginning, not from the womb, but I was an esthetician for over 10 years before I dove into this and let go of my business with as an esthetician. I ran my own business in the back of my home because I had two littles. So I did dabble in network marketing. My story starts with I dabbled in network marketing because we were up against the wall. In 2009, like so many other people, my husband lost his job. And a year and a half prior to that, he said, okay, let go of your corporate job. Let's focus on having a baby. We had a house. We had that American dream going. And then 2009, he lost his job and our benefits. And I was a esthetician, part-time esthetician and a stay-at-home mom. In California, that's where I'm at, is it's super expensive in California. And living off of roughly about $2,400 a month is quite stretching it, basically. We short sold our house, like everything we built based on our degrees and our dream. We lost in 2009. We short sold our house. We humbled ourselves and went back to renting. My husband was trying to pull all odd jobs, and even though he had a degree, he couldn't even get jobs that he had no experience with. I shared my story in Instagram a couple days ago, about how this time of year really reminds me where we really came from, because with a college degree, landscape architect, he humble himself and got a job at the Christmas tree lot. He has done a lot of labor before. This type of work was way much more labor intensive than he had experienced. So that like part of my story of like really looking back at that time and saying, you know what can I do to help without leaving my babies with somebody else for a full-time job? And when we went to go rent, I was pregnant with my second child. I dabbled in network marketing with jewelry businesses, and I sucked at it. I would hit ranks and then I would go back down, because most other companies, you have to have someone below you to have a specific rank. And when that person wouldn't succeed, your ranks would go down. It was just, and I had to host parties, I had to leave the house, all the things, buy samples every quarter. And then I said, you know what, 5 years of this, I didn't succeed. This is not for me. I continued with my esthetician business. I then was introduced to a clean skincare product called Beauty Counter. You might have heard of it. I said I would dabble in it as part of what I would offer my clients with skincare. Well, I got my first check, and for 1 month, it was $30. It was so not worth the amount of money that I spent to get all the things in order to provide the products to my customers. So at that point I said, and that was probably in 2012, I said, network marketing is not for me. I'm never going to touch it again. So fast forward, in 2014, I started to see this product called Thrive. My upline with the previous company, Elise, is the one that started to share it more. I saw it with 3 other individuals, but Elise grabbed my attention because I totally thought that this was just for weight loss, something I wasn't looking for. She called me, she picked up the phone, and the question she asked, and I knew she was thriving, she was progressing through ranks pretty quickly, and she asked me, how are you? And I simply said, life sucks, this, that, and the other. I think something's wrong with me. I'm always so tired. Complaining about everything, not even thinking that she would throw the Thrive at me. And she said, stop. Are you ready to trust me? You need to experience this, because everything that you're talking about is going to help you. So at that point, literally that day, I had hit a wall. I was sick and tired of being tired. She called me at the right day. And of course, I took it wrong. And I share that story a lot because I want my newest prospects, newest customers, my promoters, newest customers to understand how important it is to follow instructions. I took it wrong. I didn't feel anything. She corrected my steps by day 4. I slept really well, which is not normal for me. And I thought, fluke. Day 7 was my aha moment. I was feeling great. Mental clarity, all the things. And then day 27 was my biggest aha moment. And again, I had no desire to do this business because in my mind, I said, I suck at these types of businesses. And my aha moment was my hands were almost always asleep for 7 years. And on day 27 of taking Thrive, I didn't have the prickly things in my, you know how when your hands are asleep and you get that prickliness in your hand, that would be constant for me. I didn't have that anymore. So, and then at that time I was thinking, well, what have I changed that has helped me? And all it was Thrive. I picked up the phone, I called Elise and I said, listen, this is what's happening. And again, we were still strapped for money. I said, if I can't get this for free, I cannot continue. And I did not want to go back to feeling tired, can't sleep at night, having my hands like the downgraded version of me. I did not want that back. So she said, okay, share with a few people and connect them to me, and I will help you get it for free. So I did just that because I was on a mission. If I didn't get that Thrive, I wouldn't be thriving. So I shared it with a handful of people that I knew could really benefit from it. got the 2. I literally like had three days left in a month in order to get the 2. So I got the 2 people thriving under me. Yes, they were very close to me. One was my mother-in-law. But what happened, like in July of 2014, she said, you have 3 more orders coming in. Thank you so much for promoting this. I know you don't want to do this as a business, but I am earning commissions off of the work that you did for me. Like, that's the picture she painted. And then I said, I'm not good at these things, Elise. You're great at this. I'm not good at sales. I don't have a social media following, all the things that you hear from so many people that you present this opportunity with. And she said, the best part about this is that it's free. You don't need inventory, which piqued my interest because I spent a lot of money on all the other things. You don't need samples. Actually, at that time, we did. But it was a choice that I had to make. There's no website fee. There's no membership fee. It's literally free, and you are doing what I would do to grow my business. You're promoting it for me. So she painted that picture for me, and I said, all right, let's see where this goes, because I could probably help out a few more people. And at that time, my dad had donated his truck to us for $1. It was a Toyota truck that had over 200,000 miles on it. My vehicle was over 10 years old and needed a lot of work. We didn't have the money for that. So at that time, my upline and my friends that were thriving with her were earning their car. Did that look attractive to me? Yes, because we needed a car. My family was growing out of this truck. We needed a car. How am I going to make that happen? There's no way I can earn that auto bonus, is literally what I said to myself. And within 3 months, not knowing what the heck we were doing back then in 2014, when we only just had vanilla shakes, I hit auto bonus. And it's crazy because we literally did not know what we were doing, but one of my rock star leaders brought a rock star in, and she was making that VIP 800 happen over and over and over again. But I will tell you, during that time, I still had so many limiting beliefs. I didn't believe that I could get to 200K. I didn't believe that I would become a Lavelle millionaire. Like, I know a lot of you might be thinking, there's no way I can achieve that. I don't have sales background, all the things. I've been there. And it's that mindset that I would hear over and over again. Paul, Elise, all the leaders talk about, you have to nurture a positive mindset. And Elise pushed me one day, I think it was when I was stuck at 40K. She pushed me, and she literally, again, picked up the phone and said, get me 10 free accounts. I'm doing a team drawing. I said, okay, let me see where this goes. So I got 10 free accounts, and that was when I learned the importance of free accounts. That just because we get a free account doesn't mean that the purpose is to get them to buy that day, right? Like, we literally had to just kind of keep them warm, keep them connected. That was the day that, like, it shifted for me. There were many little things that shifted for me, and I still had so much doubt. My husband did not jump on board. He would take the products wrong. He would complain and say, why are you on the phone again? I'm home. All the things, right? Anybody resonating with that? And I had to go, I had to go to my second lifestyle getaway, which was a pivotal part of my journey. I didn't want to go because I was too afraid to fly to Cancun by myself. I didn't have a big team, so I didn't have a guest to bring with me. The other promoter actually earned it, and she couldn't go. So I had to travel alone, and I was nervous. But that trip, I had the ability to literally sit amongst amazing rock stars like Maria Dillard, Kim Collins, Sheila Fasoni, and we were having a mastermind, and they were going back and forth talking about their journey, and how Sheila would always say, they don't know it now, but they're going to be thriving with me after a 3-way call, even though they said no. And I heard her say, of the I don't know what the number of it, her frontline leaders, it literally took her 9 to 12 times to touch them before they said yes. But I visually began to see a cycle, get a free account, talk to these people over and over again, just connect. So I saw that and I became a woman on a mission when I got home from that trip. And then I went to my first annual convention, and the amount of people on that stage for 200K was so small. The people standing on there literally made me think, if they can, why can't I? And that was in April. And following February is when I hit 200K. So that's kind of like my journey to 200K. It didn't happen smoothly. And I think that the biggest thing that I really want people to know is it doesn't matter how fast that girl next to you, that person ahead of you, that person that started yesterday, how fast they're moving up, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're consistent and that you keep going. You don't compare yourself to their journey saying, well, I started 2 months ago or 2 months ago and they just started yesterday and they hit auto bonus. You don't know their story. So don't give up because of the pace. The pace doesn't matter at all. What matters is the little meticulous work that you have to do to build your funnel. So, Lisa?
You know what I freaking love about I didn't even realize how similar our story is, as far as I started back in network marketing in 2009 because of the economy too. Went back to renting, lost our house, like just a lot of similarities. And just remembering that time, like if the people lived back in that time, like it was like the rug was swept out from underneath of you. Like everybody was leading this awesome life and then boom, life sucked, you know?
Yes.
And it was like, okay, that is why I'm so excited about COVID. I think I'm the only person on the earth that's saying that. But and I say that because I like to make lemons out of lemonade, and I just know history repeats itself. There are going to be so many people this coming year that are going to look at a plan B. They're going to look at network marketing for the first time like you and I did, not doing, thinking that we weren't salespeople, thinking this wasn't for us, but we're also going to think, I can't be in this position again. Like I need something else, because if something like this happens again, because we're in the same position with the economy, we're in the same position where a lot of people were like, holy crap, I can't work right now because my job just sent me home because of COVID. Like there's so many things. So I think that, we know that, it's getting other people to know that. And it's so exciting because you started back when literally there was like 4 products with Lavelle. That was it. And it cracks me up when people say, I have such a hard time. And I'm like, dude, a hard time was when there was only 3 products. You didn't have anywhere to go. Now we have like 20 different products that you can go promote. And
But
I
not
bet you
only that, we have so many resources for these individuals, and it just keeps getting better. That's the crazy
right.
part. I'm like,
It's
all
crazy.
these
You guys didn't
incentives
have
that are being thrown at
resources.
everybody, it's like, I didn't get that.
It's crazy because you guys didn't have all of these things, and look at you still came in, you still climbed the ladder in the company, you still made it work. And I mean, I love all the things you pointed out, especially about how you said, Elise said to you, trust me. You feel like crap, you just need to trust me. Sometimes we just need to say that to somebody. Sometimes that's what it takes is, do you trust me? And it pulls somebody in. Yeah, I do. Okay, let's do this. Like, I think a lot of people start off like you do, and the way Elise said everything was so perfect. I'm glad you shared that, because it it was, even when she came back to you and said, thanks for making me money, but you could be making yourself money here. You're doing the work for me. You're doing the work that you would already have to do as a promoter. And I love that, your journey was not in 1 second, because a lot of people, we get a lot of 200Ks on here sharing their story, that their story is they did go 200K in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days, in 6 months. And that's just not what most people will experience. Most people, it's going to take 5 to 7 years to climb the top of this comp plan, period. End of story. And you still went fast. You're still like in the top 1% of people, but it's not that overnight, oh my gosh, I came in and I hit success. You had to literally gain that belief, get that mindset, and build it. And I also love how you touch base on getting to, conference. And I know we didn't get to experience that this year because of COVID. Hopefully that changes soon, but it doesn't have to be a conference. It's getting on these Zooms, surrounding yourself with other people and hearing the stories. I think, especially this Tuesday Zoom, because every week we interview a 200K and people can relate and go, I'm no different. I'm just like Carmel. Like, I can do it if she did it. And I think it's so huge just to plug in, period. Um, I kind of wanted to talk to you about, man, that's a long time. You've been in since 2014. That is what, 7 years you've been doing this company pretty much? And I think a lot of people think, okay, I hit 200K. Man, it must be just awesome. Life is amazing after you hit 200K. There's just no bumps in the road. It's easy. And I always say the hard starts at 200K. And people are like, what? It's hard now. And I'm like, no, because that's where not only do you have yourself to think about, but you have a humongous team. You're trying to spread yourself around. You're trying to not fall into management mode and do all the things that people end up doing that end up ruining their businesses. And you're trying to, navigate it all for the first time. Anybody is a business that size. I would love for you to share anything that sticks out to you over the last, 7 years that have kind of shaped your business and shaped you, because here's the deal. There's people on here that they've lost rank. They maybe they were 40K and now they're back down to 4K, and they're thinking, I'm the only person this has ever happened to, or they got a bonus and lost it, or they missed a bonus, or they miss every bonus, or they lost a leg last week. It was a 12K leg or a 40K leg, or they, or there's conflict on their team and no one wants to follow them or listen to them, or they get no help from their upline. Like, they think this is only happening to them, and what they don't get is, as a 200K, these things happen to us too. What are some of the things that have happened to you over the last 7 years that people can relate to?
Well, yeah, you guys, my story is not special. Like, Elise was in Montana and we had two people here in Ventura, California promoting the business. People were having locals all over the place. And I didn't expect her to come out here and do a local for me, not at all. And I think that sometimes, well, let's take COVID out of the picture right now, but people expect their 200K leader to show up, but I will tell you, you just have to do them. Liana and I did them so many times, and it was just us two. But we kept doing them, and we kept sharing, we kept building. Just because your upline doesn't show up for you in that way, it's not her business that she's building for you. It's your business that you're building. Yes, having your upline there is inspirational for people to come. It's kind of what I definitely noticed, a different amount of people that come when she came, but she didn't start coming out to us until we were 80K. But just because your upline is not around, because I know that has happened a lot, especially lately, you're showing up for yourself. You're showing up for yourself. You're also showing up for your team. It doesn't matter where your upline is. I think the other thing that I wanted to share too is maybe sometimes the thing that I start to hear from my team is, well, my upline is unavailable. What do you want your team to look like? That's what you do. You build your team the way you want it to grow, regardless of your upline. Well, I need waiting room. No one deserves waiting room. Don't expect waiting room. I never got waiting room. My business was literally built off of me building my business and building my downline. Not what was coming from my upline. I didn't expect that. So again, it's your business. You build it the way you want. And here's the other thing. We are open to every tip and trick that all the leaders in this company offer. All you have to do is listen. All you have to do is show up on a leader call, listen, take notes, and say, you know what, I'm going to implement that. I don't know how many times I had heard like VIP 800 is a lifeline to our business over and over again. You guys, I didn't hit VIP 800. I didn't hit VIP 1600. I didn't hit iPad, but I hit an auto bonus, and that's just as good. Just because you didn't hit VIP 800 or 1600, there's so much more that this company has to offer. And then also, I absolutely love what Jason and Paul and Drew have created. I will never leave. The product is amazing. This company is amazing. What they stand for is in line with what my values and my integrity is all about. There's no other option. I absolutely love what this product can do for people and what this company does for the promoters. The other thing too is meetings in the mirror were pivotal. Two things that were really pivotal to me building my business to 200K. Writing down a goal. Do you write your goal down? I remember I didn't want to write any goals down because if I didn't write my goal down, that means I failed. Or sorry, if I wrote my goal down and I didn't hit it, I failed. I didn't want to see myself fail. So I never wrote a goal down. I don't know. I can't remember what shifted, but I started to use the passion planner. I still haven't really found one I absolutely love, but I have a few passion planners and I can look at them and see my track from 40K to 200K. From 40K to 80K, it took me 2 months. But from 80K to 200K, I think it took 6 months. But what really helped me is those meetings in the mirror. Like I literally would use my planner because we didn't have the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tracker back then. I would use my planner. I would write I am 12K or whatever the rank is. And then I would break it down for 4 weeks. But on Sunday, I'd have that meeting in the mirror with myself and I was raw and real. And on Sunday, I would say, okay, what did you do good at? What did you do really well? What did you rock? And what did you not do that didn't help you, that you could have done that would have helped you move that needle just a little closer to that goal? Why? Why are you doing that? Why aren't you doing that? Like the meeting in the mirror is you being a leader to yourself. It's putting your mask on before you put your mask on to your team. There are many times that I struggled with other team members not following what I did or what I recommended that they would do, and they would slam right back down to what for 2 to 3 months, slam back down to what their rank was. They might have been a 12K, but they slammed back down to 4K. And every time I would look at what they're doing, they would do it over and over again. And I kept saying, well, what do you need to do differently to make that not happen again? So really taking that time to evaluate and holding yourself accountable, exactly, is so key because your success depends upon what you put into your business. And then the other thing too, I have team members that don't listen to me today, but I love them where they're at and I let them roll because it's their business, not mine. I can empower them, I can inspire them, I can include them. But it is what they do. Do I have drama on my team? Absolutely. There's a big team. Like there's no way around it. There's always issues. And I don't know if any of you guys have done an Enneagram test. I'm a 9. I'm a peacemaker. I want everyone to get along. And when things aren't happening and copacetic, I get back into my shell. And I always have to remember to empower, again, holding myself accountable by empowering myself to just show up and take care of the hard stuff that needs to get taken care of, even though things aren't copacetic. We just keep going. We can't, I'm a people pleaser. I'm a 9 and I'm a people pleaser. It really is 2 good things and bad things. But, you know, we want to please everybody, but we can only give them what we can do. Right? We can only inspire them. We can only tell them how they can do things or recommend how they could do things. But listening to them, and if they're open to it, I will say, are you open to learning more? It's kind of like Thrive. Are you opening to learning more, or what I might do differently?
Oh
So
my gosh, can I just say, I hope people are taking notes. Everything you just said, like times 100. Um, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, but 7 years is a long time. And in 7 years, you see a lot of people come and a lot of people go. I mean, I'm sure you have the same thing. I look at my business and go, wow, I never thought that person would leave. Or, wow, I look at my business 4 years in and the people that got me to 200K, some of those people aren't even here anymore. It's crazy. And I think this time of year, especially, people get that shiny new object syndrome where they're kind of looking left and right and they see somebody leave. And maybe that person's like a 80K or 200K and they're like, am I missing something? Should I go someplace? How have you, what, I guess the question is when you've seen, and I know you have, like a 200K leave the company, are you, what keeps your conviction here, even through those times where it seems like your business isn't going in the right direction?
honestly, I say, God, they've got to be crazy, especially if it's with another company, because Lisa, you know how good this compensation plan is, but
Oh
you
my
also
gosh,
know
yes.
how well Paul and Jason treat us. The product sells itself. I would never leave. Like, that is just not an option. So when I see people leave, and I have seen like my rock stars leave, I know that it's not a reflection on me. It's only what they're looking out for themselves. And they got to be crazy. Like, Elise's upline left and went to another company. And I was like, what? Like, Lisa, you know how big Elise is. Um, and to me, that was just like, that's crazy. And I don't know like the big thing, but the big picture of it all. But I think sometimes people leave because of egos. Screw the ego. It doesn't feed anything. Like, we're here to purposely help people feel their best and make an impact on people's lives that want financial options. And we are definitely in the time where we can definitely be sharing hope and light by sharing what is important to us about this journey versus selling the product and the opportunity. We have to share our story more to make an impact for others, provide that light and hope that people need to see. But you're going to see people come and go with this business. And when you look at the big picture, it's crazy to me, Lisa, when people talk about how much this product and opportunity, especially if it's a 200K, has been so life-changing, right? The product, life-changing. I would never stop using it, and they're gone. You're like, okay, so was that a story? And you say yes, because that was a story. So it just, my initial reaction when I see people leave is they're crazy.
Oh my gosh. And it's crazy because they are crazy. Like, I hate saying that, but here's my thing is like, if you're on your own path and you stand strong in your conviction with this company, this product, where you want to go, I don't understand why anybody else would derail you just because they've changed their mind or they've changed course. Like, somebody else, I've never, dude, I think Maria Dillard could leave right now and I would not say, oh my gosh, why did she just leave? Something must be wrong. Like, dude, that's her jam. That's her jam. Like, I know my path. You can't let anyone else have that much power over you, that you're deterred from your goals and dreams because they decided to choose something else. And you don't know why. And you're so right. Like 90% of the time when I lose someone on my team, it's an ego thing. A lot of the time it's, I've heard, I don't get enough recognition from Paul and Jason. Dude, I don't even understand that because I get recognition, but my recognition comes every Tuesday, right? In that paycheck. I'm like, yeah, there's my recognition. Things are going right. But also what I love about this company is that Paul and Jason put the majority of their time into new people. Like Paul will get on a phone call right now with 12 4Ks, but if I said, "Hey, will you do a call for my 200Ks?" he'd probably have to look at his calendar. Like, I love that they're like that, because the people that need the recognition, the people that need that belief instilled in them are our new people. And I came from a company where the culture was completely different. Like, to even have the CEO's number, you had to be like top 10 income earner. And here, Paul Gravette meets like a brand new promoter. Literally met one of my brand new promoters sitting next to her at a Lavelle local, and said, "Here's my phone number." Like, it was, that's just, nope, people don't understand that doesn't happen. I think 8,000 people have Paul's number, and people, they just aren't above anyone. And I don't think anybody truly understands how special we have it here. And you know what I love that you brought up too is the fact that we don't have to deliver things, carry stock. Um, and I had PTSD when you said, yeah, I've been with other companies, but my rank was determined by other people ranking. Oh my gosh, the same thing with my last company. Like, I had to make sure that somebody would be a 12K and a 40K in order for me to be an 80K. Guess what? I can be an 80K if I have a bunch of 4Ks underneath of me. I can be an 80K if I have a bunch of, between just starting in 4Ks. Like, you can get there any way you want to get there. That's the coolest thing ever in this business, that I personally think. But um I would love to know, 7 years in, dude, that's a long time. I'm pretty dang sure you're probably through most of your network, like your warm market, your friends, your family. If they were going to join you, they probably have. And yeah, we'll get those people that come out of the woodwork that were like, "What? I've been doing this for 7 years and you finally want to join me?" But for the most part, you probably are kind of like, "Okay, I've got to continue to grow my network so I can keep signing people." So what's your jam? Like, are you totally social media, out and about? What kind of tips do you have to for people that are kind of struggling? Because my biggest thing when I talk to somebody, they'll message me. "I'm doing everything, Lisa. I am on every Zoom. I wear 10 patches a day. I am Thriver of America." Like, I show up. Why am I not growing? 9 times out of 10, it's because they're not growing their network fast enough or at all. They're caught in the busy work. So what advice do you have for people to continue to grow their network and not fall into the management trap of, waiting for everyone else under you to work their business while you're sitting there not working your own?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I'm in cold market. And I definitely, I've been marinating myself the past year in like really learning social media, and you have so many great tips, Lisa. We've really applied a lot of the things that you've taught. But it's really about, it's networking. And here in California, we are in lockdown. So it has been, the choice is, um, network is social media, whatever that word is. So I've been really building community and really applying what Lisa, you teach about going on to Facebook groups that are like what you're interested in, and building relationships with that. I've been doing that with Instagram and hashtags, and really building a community. And what's crazy to me, just recently, I've been really building my network more rapidly than maybe I would say before COVID, because I picked up a new hobby. And that hobby has helped me enter into a whole new world of new people. And so that's kind of what you have to do. You have to show up with your life, not spamming, and connecting with people, building that community through having conversations and connecting with people, intentionally liking and commenting on people. And when they say no to you, are you asking for the referral? One of the biggest things that I have used in person and on social media when I'm am in the DMs is literally, okay, thank you so much for letting me know that you're not interested. I then go in, because they say no because they don't know about the product. So I then go into, if you know someone that's tired, exhausted, can't sleep at night, maybe wants to lose a little bit of weight, I would love to help them. Please refer them to me or connect them to me and I can help them. And sometimes it actually lets them think and say, oh, wait, that's me. Maybe I need to learn a little bit more about what it is that you're sharing, right? Okay, are you open to learning more? I'm going to share more. I'm leading with intention and just having conversations with people, taking that time. Because the past 10 months I've been really leveraging social media, is taking 10 minutes and engaging with people, and then that next 10 minutes posting my thing, and then that following 10 minutes going in and liking and commenting on people, because you're supposed to be social on social media. You don't just post and leave. You have to be social in order for you to make connections and have conversations. That's something I didn't used to do prior to marinating myself in learning social media. But I think too, what really goes through my mind with people that are saying, like, I'm doing everything you're telling me to do, but I'm not growing. I remember being stuck at 12K and saying to myself, take yourself out of the equation, stop focusing on that rank and start focusing in on helping people. It's not about the rank, it's about helping people. When I came from a place of compassion and listening and connecting, that's when I started to move faster towards my goal versus I can't get to 12K, I can't get to 40K, I can't get to 800K, whatever the number is. I can't get there. Stop worrying about that and connect, and build community. And that which then will build in trust when you're sharing it that way. So that's kind of like where my passion has been. I could have just said, screw it, because 10 months of being indoors, literally locked down, not necessarily locked down. I mean, my hobby has brought me out because I've had to go to hardware stores and stuff like that. It allows me to go out and have conversation, but I've also entered into a new community where I can ask questions on how to do things, which then connects me more with these individuals. So
I love it because I think people just aren't thinking outside the box. And I've watched, I talked to a girl yesterday and she was like, um, I'm doing, I sell makeup. I'm in this company. I'm all, oh, I do that company too. Yeah, I'm in this one. And I'm like, dude, you're in 4 different network marketing companies. I said, so, are you making money? No, because her concentration, you have to put your time into one thing. And if you want to pick something up, guys, don't go pick up another network marketing company. Go pick up a dang hobby where you can join a Facebook group, ask questions, meet people. Like, that's what you do. Like, that is what is going to, I'm a firm believer in multiple streams of income, just not multiple streams in network marketing, because I've never seen anybody at the top of 2 companies. Never, ever. I've been doing this for 10 years and there's not one person I've ever met that's like, yeah, I'm at the top of 2 companies. Usually they're nowhere because they're spreading their time. They're not putting their focus into one thing. And yeah, it definitely, Kyla, it confuses people. People are like, what's going on? Like, what is this lady selling like all this stuff for? Like, it's so, all the tips. And my favorite thing that you said, I do the same exact thing as you do, Carmel. When somebody's in my inbox and they don't want it, I'll say, oh my gosh, thanks for inquiring. I have a huge favor to ask. This has been so life-changing for me. And I share my 30-second commercial, because most of the time, you're right, they just don't get it. And I get to get my story out for a second. And then I'll say, if you know anybody that needs help with aches and discomforts or better sleep, mental clarity and focus, maybe want some weight management, or just, some more energy, so they're not taking naps during the day, could you please send them my way? And it's crazy how I just planted the seed,
mm-hmm.
And they're more open to it because I'm not bugging them anymore. I'm saying, well, if you know anybody, send them my way. And when you're good to people, it is amazing to me how I've been able to get so many referrals over the last 10 years because I'm just good to people. And even if they don't want my product and they're not interested, I still am commenting on their stuff. I'm still, building that relationship. and they'll tag people in my posts. They'll say, hey, so and so, if I say I'm looking, or does anybody know anybody, they will tag people even though they've never ordered from me. So you guys, that is the biggest golden nugget ever. I hope you wrote that down. I want to know, I kind of like to ask this question every time I have a 200K on, because I feel like the most important time in a new promoter's life is when we first sign them. It's that first month that they're in this business. And I believe that for several reasons. Not because I think they have to VIP. And if they don't VIP, they're not going to succeed, because clearly that's not true. You did not VIP or 4K, and look where you are now. So anybody on here that's like, I didn't get my VIP bonus, I suck. Like, are you kidding me? Look at, you can be 200K. That doesn't make or break your business. But what I mean by that being the most important time in this business is that is the time where you've got to connect with them and really build that relationship. Because at the end of the day, if you don't, after that 2 weeks goes by and they miss those two bonuses, a lot of people quit. And they quit because of you. They quit because of me. They quit because the promoter that signed them did not do their job effectively in making sure that they understood that this is a journey. You may or may not get those bonuses. That does not dictate your future. If you're going to sign up to do this, you've got to be on that 5 to 7 year plan, and they need to feel a part of a community. So I always like to ask 200Ks, what do you do when you sign somebody else in that first month, obviously to help them VIP, but even if they don't, what do you do to kind of, keep them and make them want to continue to grow the business?
Right. So I think in the beginning, we were like adding them to all the pages, all the chats, all the things. And I specifically stopped doing that. I think it's really important that we put them under our wing and keep them focused in on just sharing the product, especially if you throw them into a team page, right? Like, I don't want to throw them into a team page just yet, because there's a lot of information on there that might be above their head, that might be overwhelming. So really taking that time to talk about their back office, taking time to really create their list. I don't go over the back office too early on. I focus on, let's build a list. They don't hit promoter until we build a list. When we build a list, then we talk about, we've been doing 411 calls for Thrive. So that's what we do. What I recommend doing with our team is taking that new promoter and building that list, having them invite them to that call so that they can hear someone else's story, and providing that fear of FOMO, right? Like that FOMO of, we have $25 credits at the end of the call, $25 credits to the first two people that want to get started on their Thrive experience today. Within the next 24 hours, you can get the $25 credits. And by that time, we actually, when I'm helping them create their list, we're talking about what these people's, not, I guess, ailments are, what they struggle with that we can pinpoint, right? And we talk about this list of, I try to have them create a list of 20 people. And then we talk about their pain points. And then I talk about, like, who do you feel like trusts you more? So we're kind of getting a game plan of who we're going to hit first. Not hit, but you know what I mean. Make a plan of who we're going to target first in getting them started with the Thrive experience, so that when we actually get to the call, we have a person that's sharing a story that kind of, that I will purposely put together with, after knowing what her list of people, her or him, list of people kind of sounds like they mostly struggle with. I will find a story that relates to, so that they can hear something that they can relate to, versus, if it's a call of a male promoter and there's a bunch of stay-at-home moms, story's probably not going to relate to a lot of the people that he invites, right? So I really specifically do that for my people. So I think that that's really important. And then if they don't hit VIP 800, we go by, so if they have like their list of 20, we still get another list of 20. I now start hitting the target of 40 people because that number is what Paul Gravett talks about with hitting 4K, and I'm sure you guys know that. So my goal is to like just have them target on that 40 people, maybe 50. And we keep making that list regardless if they hit that VIP 800. I'm going to help them stay focused on keeping their momentum forward. And I remind them, I didn't hit it. I didn't hit VIP 800. That does not determine your journey with Lavelle. So, but keeping them tied into the calls that we have too are important as well. So those are the things that I do.
I love it. And you don't overcomplicate it. I used to do the same thing. Sign someone up and add them to like 8,000 chats and 8,000 pages. I did the same thing. And I'm thinking, oh, they're going to want all this information. And all I did was overwhelm them and totally make them think that this is going to be harder than it was, that they had to put more time in than they needed to. Like, it just freaked them out. So I learned, don't do that.
I know.
In fact, there's sometimes I don't even add them to my actual team page for a minute. Like, I kind of want to solely focus on them for 5 seconds just to get them, situated with everything. But I love your tips. Also good. I kind of wanted to also ask you, you've been doing this for a while. Like, what do you feel like you did in the beginning that you wished, I guess what I'm asking is, what do you feel like you wish you didn't know in the beginning, or you wished you wouldn't have done in the beginning? Or what would you have changed now that you know all that you know, all of these years later? Like, if you could change something that you think maybe you would have went faster, or maybe you wouldn't have gotten in your own way. Can you think of anything that stands out to you?
So really, I think if I would have focused in on goal setting and mindset, it would probably be my biggest two. But my biggest regret is I didn't know and understand how to really, and this is because I don't know if it's because like literally we all came into this business with like a chicken with our head cut off, not knowing how to build a strong front line and layering them. Like if I look back, Lisa, and you'll definitely understand this. Like I probably would have more 200Ks now had I known what I was doing with my front line and waiting room, because we really didn't leverage that in the beginning. Like my organization would probably look totally different. But my biggest regret of not doing things right is listening to my leader in the beginning. I don't know how many times I hear this, and I know that many people will come into this saying, no, I got a better way to do this. I got this. I got a better way to do this. And I had to humble myself. And I think I was already at 12K. I said to myself, just follow the leader. Keep it simple. Follow the leader. They're obviously successful because they put everything into place already. Why recreate the wheel? Do what they're telling. And that was, I think, the biggest thing for me is taking that time and saying, you know what, I just got to listen and do what they recommend. I don't have a better way. So I think those
so
are my
many
biggest.
people do that. I think that so many people, especially what I've noticed is if they've come from another network marketing company, they kind of take those old habits with them or what they learned there, and they're thinking, okay, I can do it the same exact way. I can apply it the same exact way. And they don't get this is different. You've got to listen to your upline, to your leader, and what are they telling you to do? Like, get out of your own way. Again, it's kind of like an ego thing a little bit when people don't want to kind of take the advice of their upline.
Yes.
And I think also the other thing that you said too is, at the end of the day, you don't need to know like all the things either. And I think it stops people in their tracks because they feel like if they don't know all the things, then that's what's holding them back. I hear that a lot. I'll say, well, why aren't you doing X, Y, or Z? Well, because I just don't want to be asked a question I don't know, or I don't want to look stupid, or I just don't feel like my story is good enough to share yet, or I don't feel like I have a big enough story to share yet. or my story is not like so and so's story. So I think like a lot of times we get in our own way with those things. And speaking of that, did you guys have you or do you use a lot of third party credibility as far as like three-way messages, phone calls, things like that?
Yeah. So we use a lot. I mean, in the beginning, it was only three-way calls, only. No Zooms, no FaceTime, only three-way calls, no chats. Like now we do all three of them. Um, there was something that you said that reminded me of something, and it's gone. That
Like
happens.
when I was talking about not having to know all the things.
Oh, yes, exactly. So when I came in, I wanted to be an ingredient guru. Do not. I still am not. When you want to perfect and know all the ingredients because my so-called nurse friend is going to ask me all the questions, freaking leverage someone that's been here longer than you. Like don't put that much pressure on yourself. Um like when you said all those things about like I wanted to know everything, progress over perfection, progress over perfection. When you look messy and don't understand and let the person know that you're learning, then they can say, okay, if she can do that fumbling around, I can do that too. But don't be an ingredient guru. That's not going to set you up for success. So
I love that. Okay, we're coming up on the top of the hour. We're about to get paid again. Like I never get sick of Tuesdays. And even if you're on here right now and you're thinking my paycheck is $0 this week, or it's $5. My favorite part about Lavelle is that literally you don't have to lose a dime. Get two customers, at least your product is paid for. You're running your business for free at that point. That's the best part about this, because I don't know any other company that you don't have to run a required auto ship, that you don't have to, do certain things to get paid. And what I love about Lavelle is, so many people don't have to go quit. Like in my last business, they would work their ass off for a month, get a paycheck for $10, but they would have to run their auto ship for $85, and then they would have to do their website fee. And by the time they did that, they were losing money every month. We don't have those things. So it's such a blessing. But my last question to end us out is self-development. You talked about it, mindset, it's huge. I'm sure you've come such a long way. I know I have. I look back at the person I was 10 years ago before I started in this industry, and I'm like, who is that person? That was a person that did not read, listen to a podcast, get on things. That was a person that didn't have anyone in her life that supported her goals and dreams. Like, I started surrounding myself with different people, not purposely, but in life, when you start moving in a positive direction, you tend to attract people that are doing the same thing. And sometimes you look around you and your friends and family, some people don't come on that journey with you. And it's hard because I remember my best friend at the time I joined saw my Facebook post and messaged me and said, did somebody hack your Facebook? She thought somebody hacked my Facebook because I made a super businessy post. I was just starting out 10 years ago. And at the end of the day, her and I barely talk anymore. And it's not because I've changed. I've only become better. I'm a better human, just all around. But she stopped wanting to be around me. And her life, unfortunately, is still in the same spot that it was. She's still struggling. She's still negative as hell on Facebook. Like she was where I was. And sometimes we outgrow people. Ending us out when it comes to self-development mindset, do you have any advice for people? Like, this is something that you must do, especially especially for beginners.
yeah, so I there's so many. Like you definitely, your 5 4 3 2 1 should also include some type of personal development. I think the hardest part about being in business for yourself, especially with network marketing, is network marketing alone has a negative connotation, right? People think negatively about this business model. And so that shoots us in the foot, right? So we have to literally, one of the biggest things that I do besides reading, having my devotional, is having that journal. You hear Paul talk about I am statements all the time. I would literally carry a small notebook with me because I had very limiting beliefs on myself. And every time a limiting belief would pop up, I would literally pick up that small journal wherever I am and write just the opposite of what was going through in my head. Because you can reprogram all the negative thoughts in your head by just reiterating the positive of that negative. Are we in math? But literally, like, that was my biggest in my morning routine. I would read, I would do my devotional, and I would write my IMs over and over again every day, just to reprogram my mind. The limiting beliefs is the hardest part about this business. You cannot go forward um, if you think you can't. You have to believe. You have to believe in yourself. You are just as worthy as anyone else that is already a 200K. You just have to get there and change your mind. And what's going to nurture your mindset is personal development and journaling. Those are the two biggest things that I implemented. And then goal setting, and then meeting in the mirror. Four of the
I
things
love
that I
it.
implemented in order to
Meeting
move
in
forward.
the mirror, you guys, write that down. I say it all the time. Until you can look in the mirror and get real with yourself, we can get in our upline inbox and say, I can message Chas today and say, Chas, my business isn't growing. And Chas is going to go, okay, well, let's talk about what you're doing. At the end of the day, I can lie to Chas. Chas, I message 10 people every day. I've added a whole bunch of new people to my network. I only know if that's true or not, right? Chas doesn't live with me. She doesn't sleep with me. She doesn't wake up with me and look at my phone and go, okay, do this and you did this. She's going off of what I'm saying. And I know there's a lot of people that will message me, and when I ask them, I get lies. We lie to ourselves sometimes. We exaggerate, not
Mm-hmm.
purposely, but we don't want that person to think we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. At the end of the day, though, we're the only ones that have to get real with ourselves, look in the mirror every week and say, did I do my best? I love when you said that. When you said, look, I want to keep track of what didn't I do today? What did today look like? What could I have done better with my day? Where did I screw up? Where can I change that? Like, that's what's so important about journaling is people, you need to be able to look at what you've done and where you've come from and the progression you've made, where things went wrong and where things are going right, so you can do more of that and less of the stuff you're doing wrong. And the only way to really do that and grasp it is by journaling. So everything, you know what? I freaking love this call on Tuesdays. Carmel, no one would, there's so many people. 300 people got on here today. There's 300 people that never would have heard your story, wouldn't know who your amazingness, all of the awesome tips you just gave, everything you just said, like who you are. There's so many different 200Ks in this company, which is a cool thing. But at the same time, you know, like I came from another company, and because there was only like 75 people at the top of the comp plan, when you would go to a conference or something, you were treated like a celebrity. And I was so excited, and it was uncomfortable. And when I was so excited when I came to Lavelle, because Lavelle you don't wear a name tag at conferences saying your rank. You're just a thriver. Our name tag is that patch that we all wear. It's the same patch. And we don't know what rank anyone is. We're just making friends and talking to people. And I didn't have to worry about like, people walking up and, thinking that I was some kind of celebrity, because I'm not. And no one is. And the cool thing about the only good thing about my last company was the fact that people did hear the stories of those 75 people because they were so promoted. However, in Lavelle, there's so many 200Ks, and not enough people get to hear this goodness and these stories. And that is why I'm so grateful for this call, because I never would have heard your story. Like, without this call, I wouldn't have known all these things about you. I wouldn't know how amazing, incredible you are. And the tips that you've shared today are priceless. I just appreciate you so stinking much. And I definitely want to get with you and get a list of anyone under you that's 200K, because I would love to interview them. In the new year, I had to come up with a whole new list of people as we continue to grow. Hopefully, I'll never run out of a different 200K to interview. But and I always swipe back around, so I can't wait to have you on again next year. But I want to thank you so much. You inspired me today, and I have no doubt there were people on this Zoom today that needed to hear exactly what you said. there was something you said today they wrote down that is going to be a game changer for their business. So I thank you so much for taking the last hour out of your life to share with us. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for reaching out.
You're the best. I love it. You guys, and I want to thank you guys for pouring into yourselves every Tuesday, getting on this call. It blows my mind. We started out with about 50 people, and it has grown to a call of 300. And next year, my hope is 500. And I just want this call to continue to grow, because if this call is growing, it means our teams are growing, our businesses are growing, and people need to hear from these amazing women, because you can relate, and hearing someone else's story, or someone on your team hearing a story of someone that's where they want to be, sometimes that's all they need to change everything. And that, I know it was for me. I got to a conference, heard a story that was similar to mine, and I was like, I can do this. Like, if they did it, I can too. And I know there's so many of you that can relate today with Carmel's story. So you guys, so proud of you for making yourself, putting yourself first, putting this on your calendar and showing up every Tuesday. And go enjoy that paycheck today, whatever it is, whether it's $0 to $50 million. The fact that we get paid every Tuesday, that you have the opportunity to get a paycheck on Tuesdays, or that you have the opportunity to even get free product. That is something to go brag about on Tuesdays, on your timeline. It always reminds me, go post something, because there's somebody watching that's going to go, wow, I would love an extra paycheck on Tuesdays. So utilize it. Utilize it. You guys, next week is next week? We have one more call before Christmas, I think, guys. One more of these before Christmas. And then I'm super excited because I'm going to be getting Maria Dillard on to start off our new year. She doesn't know it yet. I've got to message her, but I'm pretty sure she'll say yes. She'll be starting us out in the new year. I'm so excited, you guys. The lineup next year is going to be incredible with all the new 200Ks that we have popping up in this company. It's going to be insane. You guys, I love you. Have a good one. Happy Tuesday. Happy week. Happy everything. Happy last minute Christmas shopping. Enjoy your day.